Listen, what I'm about to talk about is very important for the short, small, ugly man. Dumpy, always called a dwarf, a troll, or a gnome. Insulted. Take this very seriously. You don't follow the leader. Know your limitations by phenotype, by temperament, and specifically, unfortunately, this is pandemic, not just in this society, and it's acultural, the height and the women issue. Don't follow the leader. Don't follow advice. Don't put on a suit that fits the other asshole, but it may not fit you. Then follow what he's done because you admire his success and because you want to duplicate his seemingly easy victory. Specifically, we're talking about with the women. Specifically, we're talking about physical sexual confirmation. Now, we know the height is a very important factor in promoting, generating, and sustaining the hot genital strivings. Call it the chemistry. What I mean by phenotype is your whole being. That's your appearance, your personality, your body language, very important. Your image socially, your assertiveness or lack of assertiveness, and that means absolutely nothing if you don't have a presence, if you don't have a confluence of body language, voice, print, that's the tone, facial expression, it's on the face, it's all on the face. And basically it comes down fundamentally to your physical condition. Are you in shape or you're not in shape? Can you fight or you can't fight? Can you back up with what you're talking with the chingazos? If it matters, chingazos means the fighting fists and the fighting will if it becomes physical. Now, I admire verbal judo, and I like the adage, where I walk, peace follows. But many times it doesn't work out that way, and you need a powerful cobra to back up the chameleon. A cobra strikes, and it strikes suddenly, and it strikes deadly when necessary. First, we try to work the chameleon, which is the social bullshit, the psychopathic bullshit that allegedly gets us through the day. It's all bullshit. It all counts for nothing. It's all superficial. We have to earn, not win, earn confirmation, credibility. This is not a win thing, it's an earn thing. And what I mean by the phenotype is specifically your presence and your use of critical distance. Good example. If you're a short man like me, watch Frank Sinatra. He's a good example. Sinatra's a short man. He's 5'8", I'm 5'3". But you never think of Mr. Sinatra as short. He knows how to position himself. He stands up, he wears that elevator suit, and he does have heels. He does have heels. Notice all the short singers, they all wear heels because, unfortunately, the height is important. He's got an edge. The tall man has an edge. You got to face it. It's tough stuff. But you have to face it. I face it. When you go out there, stand up for yourself. Watch Frank. He never looks short. He never kowtows to the taller man. He never look up at him. Never look up, and never let him put his arm around you and look down on you. Never do that. Never do that. Never make the mistake I made all my life. I defer to the tall man because I feel bad for myself at my height at 5'3". Big mistake. Big mistake. Prepare yourself. Never run away from encounter and confrontation out there in the battlefield, in the arena. That's where you hone it down. That's where you learn. That's where you practice and get beat up, bashed up, insulted, punched even. Bullied, absolutely. And you got to come back from it. Don't look around for anybody to help you. That's your fight, brother. That's your fight. Nobody else's fight. That's your fight. To win or to lose, it'll make you or break you. Either you stand up to it or you don't. You've got to learn to represent yourself in the most powerful way possible, given your limitations. Now, we have to know our limitations. It's very important to know. And Tom Jones said it at 77. Don't do what you can't do. And I agree with Mr. Jones. Don't do what you can't do. Don't follow the leader. Don't imitate your bullshit strongman. And don't remember your movies, your porno stars. This is entertainment. It's entertainment. This is a select crowd. They've got it locked up, man. Don't try to imitate them. They're entertainers. They get paid to do this, and they have a circle. They have support. They have the legal aspect. They have everything. You have nothing. Don't be a fool. Don't go out like a sucker. Do not become addicted to the presence of anybody. Very important. You're always on your self-supports and self-sufficiency, whether you know it or not, because each has their own. None has the time. They'll only give you the time if it's in their advantage, if it's to their benefit, if you pay them a lot of money, very specifically. Otherwise, it's just bullshit. How many times I've heard your TDH bullshitter. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, I'm going to fix you, oh, yeah. Well, what the bum does is he's doing that to mock, because what he's not telling the short man is the women have their prerogative. You better know that. You better know that. Unless you hold a gun to their head, that TDH, that bullshitting TDH, that psychopath, that pretty boy, he has no power. He has no power at all. All he's doing is bullshitting and laughing at the short man behind his back. That's all that's happening. Wake up. Realize it. Protect yourself. Protect yourself at all times. Don't genuflect. Don't turn the cheek. Assert yourself. You have to live with yourself, my friend. How do you live with? How does him live with himself? When him genuflect. When him look up to the tall man as if the tall man, and give your tall man so much power that he doesn't really have. You take your Tony Robbins at 6'7". That's the giant. He didn't earn that. That's genetic. But you don't look up to the bum. You step back and you don't look up to him, and you don't let him come close to you. What you should say is, if a tall man starts to come close to you, you say in a loud, strong voice that all around can hear, "Keep your distance, man. Don't come too close to me. Keep your distance, man." And you stand strong. I told you, don't come any closer. Get your hands off me. Do it now. Get your hands off me, damn it. Never let your tall man put his arm around you and then look down at you. That's humiliating. Don't pull a Trump. Don't let him pull a Trump. I saw Trump grab a short man on The Apprentice, Sam. And he pulled him in, and he said, the first thing he said, now Trump is a height fascist. He loves to be surrounded by powerful big men. That's his game. That's his thing. The strong man bullshit. I saw him pull Sam in. He said, first thing he said to Sam, one of the Apprentice candidates, he was short, about 5'3", 5'4", like me. And he said, Sam, I didn't know you were so short. I didn't know you were so short. Then he said, in a commanding way, come here, Sam. He held out his hand to Sam. It's on The Apprentice. I saw this. And in his fashion, he pulled him in. That's gaining control of the short man. He pulled him in and looked down on him. And looked down on Sam, and Sam was humble. As soon as Sam was humble, as soon as that tall man, this is my point, sees you respecting him, you're giving him too much respect that he doesn't deserve, you're gone. Because from that point on, he's going to stand up taller. He's going to look down on you. Damn it, man. Get in shape. There's only one advice that I could give the short, small man. Get yourself in the shape of your life. Learn street fighting techniques. Learn assertiveness techniques. Nip that malignancy in the bud. Don't let that malignancy grow. Don't be a fool. If you let it grow out of control, what does it do? It has a cumulative effect, and it'll beat you down. And soon it's like a monkey that gets into your mind, and you can't get rid of the monkey. It's an engram. He hides in the corner, and you try to keep him down. You try to sweet talk him down. You try to delay. You say, well, I'm going to get my revenge later, like Elliot Rodger, the day of retribution. Well, you won't have to think like that if you take care of it, if you get yourself in the shape of your life. Fighting shape. I'm talking tough, man. I'm talking born again hard. But a real thing, not just in your mind. You have to do it. You have to practice it over and over and over and over again. That's a foundation a short, small man needs, or he's going nowhere, or he's going to watch himself spiral downhill continuously. Soon, when all of this mounts up cumulatively, he's going to have to hide. He's going to have to run and hide. I call it the Uncle Wiggily syndrome. Uncle Wiggily was an old cartoon character from the old days, the 50s. And Wiggily was the arthritic old gentleman. It was a rabbit. And he had enemies everywhere. Everybody wanted to destroy Uncle Wiggily. Uncle Wiggily didn't do anything, but Uncle Wiggily was so vulnerable. Are you listening to me? He carried his security. His home was an igloo on a hot July day. And he's hiding in the igloo, and his enemies are standing right outside, throwing rocks at that igloo, and they know that igloo's going to melt sooner, and they're going to get to the old arthritic rabbit. And he's hiding, he's trembling inside his home. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen if you don't get yourself in the shape of your life, and you don't get tough and realistic about all this. Practical, period. Period. That's the whole thing. That's everything, man. It's so important. I can't begin to say it over and over again. Ignore it, and you're gone. Never miss an opportunity to practice the katas, these skills, these warrior skills. Social, physical. Never forget the physical part of the social. The social is the chameleon, the bullshit personality. And let me tell you another thing. You're a short, small man. Never trust any woman or any man, but we're talking specifically about the woman to you shorties. She seems polite. She seems kind. The cobra, that's the chameleon. That's the show. That's the personality. But if you give her any reason, the cobra strike! And the cobra strikes hard. She'll insult you. She'll kick you right in the groin and walk away laughing. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. You've got to know your limitations. This is the point of what I'm talking about. You've got to know your limitations. Don't follow the leader. Above all, do not permit yourself to ever become codependent in the form of an addiction to the presence of the woman or the man or don't need me. Don't need them. Get on your own damn self-supports and self-sufficiency. You're already on that. Don't come to somebody else with your problem. You solve your problem on your own. This is what it means to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Now, these Tea Party Republican bastards, they won't tell you that. Oh, yeah, Clinton was right. Bill Clinton was right. Everybody wants you to believe they were born in a log cabin. They built that log cabin by themselves. And they didn't have any help at all, man. They didn't have any connections. They just pulled themselves up by the bootstraps. Bill Clinton was right. Bullshit. Bullshit. Don't let them hit you with that lie. Bootstrap crap. Don't let them hit you with that lie, man. They had it. When the backstory is revealed, They had a lot of help, didn't they? And they schmoozed. They hustled. And when I say hustle, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about fair competition. I'm not talking about marketplace. They hedged. They cheated. They leveraged. They conned. They used psychopathic trickery. There's nothing wrong with that. To fight their way. And that's why I say you don't win it, you earn it by your fists. In the great, what's the name of that player? Damn, just slipped my mind. Salesman, Death of a Salesman. In Death of a Salesman, Ben says to Willie, Willie's admiring Ben, his brother Ben. He's admiring Ben. And he said, Ben, tell me, how did you do it? How did you do it? How did you become a success, Ben? Like a Trump. How did you do it, Ben? And Ben looks at Willie. He looks down at Willie. He said, Willie, screw on your fists, Willie. Go into that jungle and fight. There's a fortune to be made. But you don't make it sitting on a mattress. You get the point? These bums, these success salesmen, these bums are making millions teaching somebody how to make a million. Trump got it right. I like what Trump said. Trump says, I'll tell a man. I'll tell him what it takes to do what I'm doing. I'll tell him to look at himself very hard, what it takes to be a super salesman, to be a quote-unquote monetary success, the ruthlessness, the psychopathic tendencies that Trump revealed. I give him credit for his honesty. And you have to ask yourself, do I have the right temperament? Am I tough enough? Am I ruthless enough? Will I hedge the competition? Will I do everything I can to cheat on the competition? Fairness has nothing to do with it. Right or wrong has nothing to do with it. Good or bad has nothing to do with it. Will I be willing to do what Willie's brother Ben said? Screw on my fists and go out in that jungle and fight for a fortune. Well, will you? If you say yes, then don't talk to me about morality. Don't talk to me about Christian or Judaic values. Don't talk to me about any of that crap, because it means nothing. You got to get down and dirty on the ground and grovel. Trump understands that. That's why he's the biggest damn phony there is, teaming up with a Pence. That's not his values. That's not who he is. That's not what made him what he was. All the things that made him what he was, now he's denying it. The truth is in what made him what he was. The double dealing, the negotiating, getting the edge. If you can't do that, and Trump is right, then you are on you get the dredge. You're on the bottom, man. If you don't have these characteristics, then you struggle on the bottom. You grovel on, you lose the will, you lose everything. Very good example, when I came to New York, I went to, what is it, Patrick's? There's a good bar in a downtown area. It served very good roast beef. This was in the 70s, of course. And a New Yorker pulled me aside. He says, I always tell everybody, an out-of-towner that comes to New York, watch yourself from those Manhattan women. If you don't have anything, if you don't know how to bullshit about it, they'll beat you to death. This is competition. This is the jungle here. It's Manhattan. It's the jungle. It's not what you might have been used to where you come from. This is the jungle here. There's a lot of competition. The competition is not fair. Anybody that tells you it was fair, well, that son of a bitch is lying. You have to be rough and tough. And if you're a short man, if you're disadvantaged, if you're vertically challenged like me, you better be 10 times tougher than your taller competitor. You better be 10 times tougher in your mind. You better be tough in your mind and tough in your body. I know no other way. Anybody else that tells you anything else, well, they're bullshitting. Period. You look in their face and you say along with me, "Gaka bullshit! Gaka bullshit!" Get away from me. Get away from me, Gaka bullshit. You lying, mocking, humiliating son of a bitch. You get away from me. You get away from me with your bullshit, with your do as I say, not as I do philosophy. You get away from me. Remember one thing, I'll close with this. It's easy to admonish a cat. It's easy to tell a man what to do. Everybody loves to stick out their chest and give advice. Advice is cheap, advice is easy. Admonish, man, you beat your chest, you feel like a big shot. Example, come up to TDH, tell me, help me, help me. I'm having trouble with women. I'm not accepted, I'm not confirmed, I can't get a date. Forget about sex. I can't even get a date. I can't even survive saying, hello, help me, you are TDH. What do? And then he says, very simple, my friend. I admonish you, if you want to be successful, woman, be charming. You should look in that bum's face and say, that doesn't take into consideration whether I have or have not the capacity to do this and sell it out there under competition where it's not fair. Where I get my face bashed in out there and I come slamming down to the concrete every time and I have to lift myself, my broken, shattered bones up. What the hell are you talking about? Admonishment is bullshit. Never let anybody admonish you. That's cheap. That's cheap.